Hi friends, I'm Les Mood, your host. Welcome to the Destination for Innovation series, a partnership between the City of Bakersfield and GreenTech Network. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Scott Andrews from the City of Bakersfield. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Hey Les, thanks so much for having me here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the city, for everything you do and allowing me to put this on for you guys.
Absolutely.
So Scott, can you share a little bit about yourself, maybe something that the world doesn't know about you?
Well, I'm a pretty open book, as you know, Les, but something I don't always share is I've been to 90 countries around the world, so hoping to get to 100 in the next 5 years. But that's something that's really important to me because I feel like the more you explore, the more you see the world, the more you find yourself, and the more we travel, the more we appreciate everything in life.
Wow, so you've been a lot of places. It's been a lot of 90 countries. Where do you say on a career basis that your journey began? I mean, I know you've been all over the place.
Yeah, in terms of career journey, I'm from Tampa, Florida. That's where I grew up. So the same place I snuck in as a little kid in the rec center is where I ended up getting my first job. My first role in government was fitness coordinator. So the rec facility that I snuck in as a little kid is the same place I ended up working. I started there in 2003 and climbed the ladder through recreation, put myself through school at night. That 4-year degree took me about 11 years, so it all sounds great now, but it's been a journey. So I came up through the ranks there in recreation. I diversified my background to marketing, communications, economic development. I went on to the Atlanta area, serving in 3 different communities there in economic development, assistant city manager, and then city manager in the city of Covington, which is Hollywood of the South, that's in East Atlanta. And found my way in Bakersfield about 1.5 years ago, where I got the chance to meet you, and we're the 18th largest council manager form of government in the U.S., 46th largest city in the entire U.S. We're doing big things in Bakersfield, and I'm so excited that we can showcase what we're doing.
It's great you started out, getting people into shape through government, and you're doing, you did that in the past. What are you doing these days here in Bakersfield?
Yeah, we're focusing on public-private partnerships because we can't do this alone. It takes a village, so to speak, truly community. There's so much power there. Government, as you know, people don't want their taxes going up, so we have a limit on the impact that we truly have. So that's when we reach out to our partners in the private sector, our other community leaders, and the more we go in together, we stretch our dollars, we go further, and we make a bigger impact.
Speaking of impact, there's a lot of opportunity and there's struggles that go along the way. Can you share some struggles and maybe some triumphs in your journey in your career that you could share with us?
Sure. This one gets a little closer to home. Earlier this year, I lost my daughter Violet back on January 7th. And the community, this unbelievable impact. We never imagined what we would go through. We moved across country and didn't know a single person when we moved here. So the community that I'd only lived in 6 months really just totally embraced us, got us through the darkest time in our life. And here we are 8 months later, and I'm standing here with you. And there was times where I didn't know where I would be and how far we would have to go to get to today. So I think the power in community, leaning in, and being vulnerable has really gone a long way for me. I think that if I hadn't shared what I have, I certainly wouldn't have the sense of community and the friends and partnerships that I have today. If it weren't for that, then I don't know. I just don't see what other outcome we would have been.
So, you've been through a lot. You do a lot on a day-to-day basis. Do you have any advice that you could share with the GreenTech community, this community in general, and, progress in general?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think playing off the last question, life is short, life is fleeting. Family and community are good friends. That comes first. I think being vulnerable gives us this superpower. It allows us to really share and connect with people. And I think that's something I've really grown in, despite the hurt I've gone through. I think that vulnerability, that ability to connect with people, I tell everyone to really embrace that superpower, to allow yourself to feel, to make a difference in your community. and never take for granted the power that each of us has in our community and our organization. And that's not your title, you're not your city manager title. That's you, your hearts, what you wear on your sleeve and what you stand for. That is truly where we connect and empower our teams and let them run. And that vision, that energy, runs rampant. It's contagious, and it just spreads like wildfire and allows others to feel the same energy.
Absolutely, and that's actually why we're here, speaking of connection, right? To connect, collaborate, and create, and I really appreciate your leadership on that. Being creative and embracing that is great. This next part of the interview is more of a thought experiment, and we want to cast away any doubts, any inhibitions, anything in the way of the possibilities. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some low-hanging fruit opportunities for society, for community to bite into to advance a better world?
I think we're experiencing quite a bit of change. We're seeing it even politically in California. I think having people feel like they belong is a critical element. Belonging is so much more than just equitable solutions. That's a big part of it. Belonging means making people feel like they truly have a presence, their voice matters. And that is, again, going back to connections. That sense of belonging is critically important. We're in a time where everyone is looking down at their phone and they get caught up in their own little world. And we all lose sight of our deep friendships. We go to work and we come home, and a lot of people don't have anything outside of that. So I think that sense of belonging, being something bigger than what we are, we see that in our organizations, we see that in our community. So if people feel like they belong, they're going to make a bigger difference, and they're going to believe in what they're doing.
Belonging, I totally agree, is extremely important. I'm seeing it on a state level and a local level. It's really inspiring. In terms of bigger scale and bigger ideas, what are some of the bigger things that we as a community or society shouldn't ignore in our pursuit of a better world?
Yeah, everyone is going through something. We have no idea what they're going through. Unless I share my vulnerability with you today, you wouldn't know. But when I do so, you're more inclined to share back with me. So we shouldn't take for granted what everyone is going through. We know this much of what they're doing, and there's really this much. So it's just incredible that people are able to lace up their shoes, put on that suit coat, and go to work every day when you find out what everyone is going through. So that empathy, that vulnerability, that connection, making that is what's going to drive us further. It's the people side of it. This isn't about red or blue. This isn't about politics. This is about me and you.
Absolutely. Speaking about me and you and what you brought up earlier with your experience with VIO, and your wife and the power of community, can you share, a little bit about what you view community to be and the role of community in advancing a better world?
Look just a few hours away in Silicon Valley and what they've been able to do by partnering together. If we look around the U.S., Bakersfield we are the hub and central location. We have the busiest corridor cutting right through us. We have a huge workforce of almost 500,000 residents. We are affordable here. This is the place to build on for the next 10, 20 years. I mean, we are staged for elite, just like what Silicon Valley faced 50 years ago.
I agree. And, I've witnessed in the 20 years I've been here and went to Cal State, the growth of Cal State, the growth of the city, the growth of the mindset as well, a very innovative place. I'm very excited about that. I'm curious, at the end of your work, and you're a very big part of the community, what would you like to see as a result of your work in your career when the dust settles?
Yeah, it's not about having your name inscripted on a new building that's built. It's about building a legacy. Your legacy goes on with the people you impact. So those that you help mentor, those that you help grow, your impact's felt through people. And that's what I stand for. That's what I believe in. We can, our city just celebrated our 125th birthday this year. Guess what? 125 years from now, they won't have a clue who I am. So our legacy lives on through people.
That's really great. And speaking of people and the community, do you think it's possible to have sort of a just and equitable, equity, transformation, these words in general, pick a word, but do you think that an equitable transformation is possible? And if so, how?
These conversations are absolutely needed right now. Some people hear the word equitable and they think it's a polarizing political word. Well, we're just here to tell you that Bakersfield is an energy hub. However, we rely so heavily on outside parties that we have to partner to continue to move forward, to diversify what we are known for so that we continue being that energy leader, to continue being a leader in innovation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us, be a part of the journey here in the city. The Destination for Innovation campaign is very exciting. Thank you for your leadership and for allowing us to do this.
Thank you so much, Les.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Be sure to connect, collaborate, and create with Dr. Scott Andrews. See you soon.